Hello, my beautiful people. It's been a long time. This is my new puppy in the background. His name is Iggy. And today I just wanted to quickly do a very short video about why I changed the aging system for the Ultimate Decades Challenge. I am a historian. I have a master's degree in history. And while you can't have everything perfect when you're doing something like a highly modded, customized challenge in a game that's not set up for that, I do find it absolutely essential to play with MC Command Center for the Ultimate Decades Challenge. So if you are not already doing that, there is a video that I have about all of the settings that I change in MC Command Center to help manage my Ultimate Decades Challenge. And I think that without that, I don't know how I would do it. I did completely overhaul the aging system for the Ultimate Decades Challenge. And now per the challenge, there are like different death rolls and such for like different years. I'm still in the 1300s, so I have not done anything further than that. But like specifically in the 1300s, we're looking at life expectancy. So what Morbid Gamer did was a common thing that a lot of people do when you're thinking about life expectancy and we say, oh, the average life expectancy was 30 years old. We think most people died in their 30s. That's actually not how it works at all. It's more so, especially when you're looking at like medieval times, that so many people died in infancy or at birth. That pulls down the average number of years that somebody lives. So I overhauled the whole aging system to be more historically accurate. I'm going to put them up on the screen side by side here in a sec, so that will help visualize kind of what I'm talking about. Let's look more specifically at life expectancy as an average. So if you were to take two different people that you're looking at historically from the 1300s. One of them died at birth and the other one died at 70 years old. The average age that they lived combined together is 35, but neither of them actually died at 35. So people in medieval Europe did not die in their 30s on average. There were high levels of death before the age of like 20. And that's because of the high rates of infant mortality and the dangers of childbirth. So if you did live past 20, then you could actually expect to live a long time. Maybe in your 50s or even up to your 70s in rare cases. If you did come up with some kind of health condition, obviously there weren't treatment options for most things back then. Just in simplest terms, some people might have lived to their 60s, but many of them died as infants. So we look at an average life expectancy around 30. That's just a very basic example. So I overhauled the whole entire thing. So when we look at childbirth, I made childbirth a little more difficult for the mothers as well, because I found that to be a little more historically accurate as well. And then when it comes to the actual aging / death roll system, I made it harder the younger the Sims are. So obviously we only have certain life stages in the Sims. So it's definitely not perfect. It doesn't go by like specific averages from the past, but it is the best that we can do, the best kind of representation that we can do with these life stages that we have in The Sims. So for babies, there is one additional death roll. I think you could do another one as well. Just be aware that it's going to make the game quite difficult. But I do think for historical accuracy purposes, you could have even one additional death roll there. Or you could add it in infancy now that we have infants in the game. Those are both reasonable things, but for my purposes in the game, I did 1, 5, 10, 15, or 20 for babies. So that is 5 chances to die rather than the 4 that were in the original rolls. For infants, there was also an additional death roll added. Toddlers stayed the same. There's the same number of death rolls for toddlers. Children are the same. Teens are the same. However, you'll see the big difference is young adult. It is not at all historically accurate to have 5 death rolls for somebody who is just entering into their young adult years. If they made it past 20, there's a better chance that they're going to live by that point, as I explained earlier. So it's actually only 1 death roll for young adults in my game. And then adult, also much easier to survive at that point. Now here's where it got a little bit tricky when I was planning this, because as I said earlier, yes, there was a decent chance you would live to be older if you made it past 20 or 30. However, there were a lot of ailments and things that there were no treatments for or that weren't understood. Obviously, we could have a discussion all day about medieval health and medical care, which was like non-existent for the most part. But for the adults, I did 2 death rolls. And then for the elders, I actually added some death rolls. So what I do is I roll, and if they get 13, 15, or 19, they die right then. If they don't roll 13, 15, or 19, then we roll the D20 for amount of years left. So in Morbid's rolls, it's roll a D10 to find out the number of years left. So you can only get up to 10. I did up to 20 because the age at that stage in my game is 42 to question mark. So they could potentially live to 62. So I didn't go up to 70. They can really only live up to 62-ish. To kind of offset things, they do have to survive those death rolls first. And then if they only roll 1 year, then they only get to live to 43. If they roll a 5, they're going to live to 47. But they have to make it past that 13, 15, and 19 first. I hope that this makes sense. There's also like little tweaks to the aging system. However, I just recently had to take out the preteen mod. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to handle it now or if I'm going to put the preteen mod back in, but my aging years are slightly different. I think the preteen mod for the Ultimate Decades Challenge really helps. Like, I don't marry off a preteen. I marry them off when they're a little bit older than that. And I actually would like to change that even more. As I like to tell all my people who watch the Ultimate Decades Challenge with me, it's constantly evolving, constantly finding new and improved and better ways of doing things. And I really enjoy making it better. My hair has been like that the whole time. I've had a little sticky outie that whole time. Gotta love it. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Just a quick little... I get a lot of questions about how I do the aging system. I think if you like tune into an episode and you see an adult sim and they're not getting very many death rolls and you are familiar with the challenge, you might be like, well, she's playing way too easy. But I'm actually not, because it's harder at the beginning. It's harder when they're younger. And that's kind of how I've been doing things. And I think it works out very well. Again, if you need help with MC Command Center, I have put a video link down below, or I'll link it here or here, where you can see how I've actually set it up to automatically age the Sims as well, because under Morbid's rules, you have to manage all of that yourself. And I'm sorry, but I don't have that in me. So I have used MC Command Center to manage that for me. Any other questions? Drop them down below. I'd be happy to help. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you very much, and I will see you later. Bye.